You get a fireball, 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 everybody gets a fireball!
Please stand by.
Well, hello there. So now that we've been stuck inside for a while, I've noticed that a lot more new people have been dipping their toes into the tabletop role-playing world. Specifically things like D&D and Pathfinder and Starfinder. Lots of finders. Specifically, I see a lot of people trying out Dungeons & Dragons 5e online. I respect that social distancing, and I respect that you're trying out one of my favorite systems ever. Personally, we can all stay safe, stay healthy, and still get to play all of our favorite games with our friends. Or strangers. This is one of the few times people talking to each other as strangers on the internet is a really good thing. Aside from like Instagram, Twitter, I don't know. That's not a thing anymore. That was a thing when I was a child. You know, don't talk to strangers online. Now that's where you make some of like your best friends. Huh. The world evolves. I digress. And really, one of the best things about Dungeons & Dragons is getting to design your character. It is one of my personal favorite things to do, and it's part of what makes the game so enjoyable. Really, the sky, sometimes your GM, is the limit. Your imagination can bring you to anything. All of the rules and all the guidelines are guidelines. And if you can think it, there is a way to make it happen. In honor of welcoming all these new people into this little nerdy corner of the internet, I wanted to make a series about what, or rather who, you should play when you play Dungeons & Dragons 5e or any tabletop RPG game. I'm hoping to cover not only things like classes, like this video is titled, but also some of the races, backstories, some of the different ways that you can go, all that. These are all very generalized so that you get the best feel of what a character has the potential to be when you pick a certain class or what have you. And maybe even if we get that far, I might go into some unearthed arcana because I really love playtest material and it's just, again, the possibilities are endless. Aside from naming my character, which is usually my number one go-to step in any character creation at all, my favorite thing to do is pick the class. I feel like it sets such a cool base for what your character is going to be. It's a lot of all the things that you get to do. And so your class basically sets up all of the, knowledge that you have. It sets up how strong you are at different sorts of things, aside from your general roles when you're rolling your stats. But it helps you kind of build that foundation of who is this character, what can they do, what do I want to do, and how do I go about doing that in the way that will make me have the most fun in a game. A long while ago, I sneakily asked over on Instagram and Twitter what class you pick for that specific day, and you all pretty unanimously picked wizards. I feel like Harry Potter and Gandalf have instituted that high fantasy bias towards wizards that have really permeated everything in our culture. I mean, if we're gonna talk Harry Potter, there's the problem with they're wizards, but they call it the Sorcerer's Stone. So what are you? And that's a debate for another day. Should we make a video about is Harry Potter a wizard or a sorcerer? Because there are points in so many different favors. So welcome to what I am dubbing, should you play a wizard? Obviously it's insert thing here, but a wizard. So let's talk about the anatomy of a classic wizard. Your character's probably gonna have a lot of hair, long hair, a long beard, long bushy eyebrows, probably some ear hair, maybe even a good kind of smattering all over the body, because it adds age, it adds that feeling of prestige and wisdom because you've been around for long enough to grow a beard that's taller than most young children. The beard where they hide all of their secrets. I mean all their knowledge. And this doesn't just have to be male wizards. I'm a big fan of bearded women in fantasy. I think it's really fun, especially I love the dwarven culture of having the women also have beards and having it be a big part of their culture. I am a big fan of also allowing your female characters to also grow beards, or if you're a non-binary character, you can do whatever you want. I played with a Dragonborn once whose name was Beard, who wore a fake beard that held a crab. So really, anyone can have a beard. Wizards tend to go to one of two extremes. They tend to either wear tattered clothes or the highest of eleganza. It kind of depends on where your backstory's coming from. Are you the well-worn, well-traveled Gandalf who has seen many things and doesn't need the money? They just need people to know and to help people with the knowledge that they've gained in all of their travels. Or are you more like Dumbledore, who's like, I've risen to the top of this order, I wear sparkly maroon robes and stars and all of the glitter. Dumbledore has some very interesting clothes if you read through, especially like Sorcerer's Stone and all that kind of stuff. Very much the Richard Harris Dumbledore, but two extremes. Are you the posh schooler or are you the well-worn traveler, both bringing knowledge that no one else has? Honestly, you can make up like any place that you're from. Like, are you of the High Order of Shish Kebab? Or like you come from the Grand Mausoleum of Knowledge Books. Listen, making up fancy names on the spot is hard, and if you look through any kind of fantasy novel or even a Dungeons & Dragons handbook, there are so many oddly capitalized words. Every word is capitalized. It makes it fancy, and it makes it magic and important. Now, you're gonna need a little bit of, arrogance. Confidence, They know things, and they tend to be the one who wants you to know that they know things. They bring that big brain to the party. And it's D&D, so with a wizard, you probably have like a spellbook stored somewhere on your person, or 50, maybe. That's how wizards learn their spells, so you're always gonna have some kind of tome, whether it's one that you've crafted yourself, whether it's, the one that you stole from the guy that you not murdered in the very first party adventure that you went on. Spellbook. You're gonna have one of those, you're gonna customize it, make it really personal to your character, but that's how you learn all your spells. You are the knowledge person. Make sure that your spellbook speaks to you. If you're gonna, carry the entire library, maybe see if your DM's good with like a bag of holding or something. It's not gonna be good to get you penalized for being too heavy because you're carrying too many books. That's not good. So, wizard. Sounds like you want to play it? Not sure? Don't worry about it. We are just getting started. How about a little personality assessment? Why don't we figure out how a wizard would react to any given situation by interviewing our very own Dumbledore. Dumbledore? Really? You insult me and then expect me to just stand here and answer your questions? I don't think so. RuPaul tells me I need to love myself, and that means not taking any of this Tarrasque crap. I just need to find my teleportation circle because I didn't think I would need to prepare that spell today, but the nerve of some people. I brought this on myself. Please, great wizard, impart on us, lowly, unlearned plebes, the great, bountiful knowledge that you have learned over the many years of your studies, so that we, the players, may make our choice wisely. Are you asking for my sage advice? Yes. Yes, I am. Why didn't you say so? Honestly, it's like you expect me to read your mind. You know that sort of spell is not worth an evocation wizard's precious time. Cool. So I put together a few questions for you. Ask your questions. So what made you start your journey as a wizard? When I was a child, they saw great potential in me, power unmatched by any wizard ever before, or at least it would be, with the right training. But they were corrupt, and I knew I had to leave to continue my studies elsewhere, only to return one day and defeat them. Tragic, I'm not like the other wizard's backstory. Check. So, say you joined an adventuring party. What role do you think you would fill? My keen mind, honed by years of study, knows the advantage in any situation that we may find ourselves in. And not to brag, but I have a pretty high intelligence modifier. Arrogant know-it-all. Check. So, you said strategy, right? Can you give us a few examples of strategy that you'd use? But of course, I know the advantage in any situation, the weakness of any opponent, the use for every spell, one might say.
I know this game better than anyone else.
One may say, because everyone loves a metagamer. So, say you and your party were tasked with protecting a city from an invading army. What would you do?
Find the high ground, and make sure everyone knows to back me up for anyone who makes it through my initial attack.
Which is?
Given the number of invaders and the need to strike fast, I would say fireball.
And if you're facing a group of 5 or so goblins?
The most effective method in my experience is fireball.
What if you're just interrogating somebody for some information?
Fireball.
A locked door?
Fireball.
Okay, but your party has a rope, so
Fireball.
okay. I think that answers all of my questions for today. Thank you very much.
But we didn't even talk about familiars yet.
Nope. No. We're done. Bye. Bye. Wizards. They are arrogant, metagaming, sociopathic, self-indulgent arsonists. And we love them for it. Honestly, wizards are so much fun. You get access to pretty much any spell you could ever want. You're squishy, yeah, usually, but you can pack a punch as good as any barbarian with some better range. And once you learn to teleport, you are basically the Uber or Lyft of your party, and they are very grateful. And if they're not, you're gonna remind them loudly in front of a dignitary and cause a scene. So, treat your wizards well, people. If you really love strategy, wizards are going to be great for you. You have so many spells that you get to figure out exactly the right occasion to use them, which ones are most beneficial to the story that you're telling. You get to be that clutch character with the perfectly timed counterspell to save the life of one of your players. Plus, with all the bonuses you get as a wizard, you're going to be the one who's there to figure out all these weird tricks that your DM's trying to pull on your group and save the day many times over. If any of this sounds like fun, then maybe you should try playing a wizard. And honestly, you can still play a wizard and be none of these things. It's all up to you and your DM. And if it sounds fun, but it doesn't sound quite the right fit, maybe you want to play something else, or maybe you just want to play a different type of wizard. Remember, everything is a guideline. You get to do whatever your heart desires and whatever your imagination can put forth. Just respect your DM and all the other players that you're playing with. Remember, fun is the most important thing, and you have a lot of power, so use it wisely. Or intelligently. Ba-dum-bum-chi. Shh. Also, between you and me, make sure your party has a cleric, in case they fail that deck save when you throw the fireball. Now really, that's only scratching the surface at what it's like being a wizard, and also just having a bit of fun at the expense of a class that I love. If you think that I should cover some of the other things like the subclasses or the Unearthed Arcana, or go more into like best spells for wizards, just let me know in the comments and I will put that on my list of stuff to film. Let me know what you think the next class that I should do one of these who should play videos on, or should you play? I think I titled it Should You Play? Either way, let me know in the comments what you think the next one should be. And always, always play with creativity and kindness. Until my next video, stay magic.